Everyone, today's Tuesday, March 17th, 2020. I'm calling this meeting to order. It is a special meeting to conduct the County Board of Canvassers for elections. Attending are Jennifer Locke, who is our Deputy Chief Clerk, and also in charge of elections is Shelley Amos, and they're going to be reporting to us the results of the March 10th presidential primaries. So, we're waiting for Commissioner Bill Brooks to join us by...
Okay, we're in our canvas meeting now.
Okay, very good.
Okay, so attending are Commissioner Brooks by phone and Commissioner Duncan and Filios are here in person. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. First and only item of business, canvass of March 10th, presidential primary pursuant to Idaho Code 34-1205, and a potential action item to confirm the results. And so I will turn it over to Shelley Amos.
Thank you. We have done the normal testing and we used all three machines, all three DS850s. They all tested with 100% accuracy on our test deck. We also did the LNA test in which Leslie Duncan attended, and our clerk Jim Brannon, Jennifer Locke, our ES&S account manager Will Nesbitt, and Jamie Ray from County Assistance. More of the, including the absentees, we had a total of 21,974 votes that were cast in this election. Our average voter turnout was 25%. The precinct low at precinct 35 was 13.25% turnout. The high was precinct 68, which was 32.28. Remembering that that part of the ballot also had the school levy in it, not just the presidential
You mean
primary.
68?
No, in 68.
Okay.
Our mail-out began January 24th and it ended on February 28th.
I saw that.
We mailed out 3,305 ballots. And during that, a total cast during early voting was 1761 during our early voting time. So early voting and absentee totaled 4,811. We did run all 70 precincts, and we had for absentee, we had the 3 precinct different ballot types at our office. We had 7 different ballot types to choose from at the office. There was 2 issuing errors in that time frame. A Republican Kellogg ballot was only given a Republican ballot without the Kellogg question, and a Democrat was given a Democrat Kellogg, and so those were the 2 issuing errors. It was not an outcome that would affect the results of the election. This time, the primaries, it's already a complicated election, but then to add on that they could change the party affiliation before or including the day of the election made it very difficult in the poll books. It was more difficult in the precincts for the poll workers. Those are things that right now we are still going through because we have to go through and change. Party affiliations changed all day long, and now we have to go back in the system and change everybody's party affiliation. So we are still in the thick of trying to even do that.
Which was done in the window between March 10th and March 13th.
So with this March presidential election, and the legislators have addressed changing this, they can change on election day anyone party affiliation and say, this is today, I want to be this, and I want this type of ballot. So we had to notate that in the ballot book. So it's a very confusing cycle every 4 years, which is the second cycle of the presidential primary. But I believe the legislators have approached the language, and I don't think this will be the same issue in 2024. It'll be similar to the May primary.
Whereas
party
you have to,
affiliation.
right,
Yes.
where you have to be affiliated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, for instance, the unaffiliates had the ability to take a Democrat or Constitution ballot. Republicans still require that you become a Republican to take a Republican ballot. So there was changing here and there that we have to go back in the poll books and before we scan them in, and then we do the change of
But for the
affiliation.
May election, for someone to change party affiliation, I realize it's probably easier going to Democrat, but if somebody wants to go from, say, Democrat to Republican.
That had to be done by March
That had to be done
13th.
Yes,
by the
correct.
13th, okay.
Yes.
So they could change at their polling place, but if they wanted to change party affiliations again, they came into our office or they did it online and they had to change by March 13th. So we're in the process of changing everybody's affiliation first and then having to go back and change their party affiliations again.
Right.
And
How-
we're in the
how
thick of
many-
it right now.
How many?
Is it heavy?
Hundreds?
Oh, it's quite a few
Yeah.
because not everybody did it correctly in the poll books. So now we have to figure out how we're going to do that. When they didn't pick the new party affiliation, but then they gave them a ballot that does not match what their party was, but they didn't tell us what party they had chosen, but they gave them a particular ballot.
Yeah.
So now we have to clean up all this in the elections office at this time.
Wow.
So that's what we're in the middle of doing right now, is trying to fix it all. And put everybody, so we have the right party affiliation by the time those May ballots are going to go out.
I think the good news is really stressed to the poll workers that if someone was unaffiliated, that they could stay that, and if they wanted that choice of the Democrat or constitutional ballot. So I think that's gonna look good in the poll books from there.
Now, if someone is unaffiliated,
Yes,
can they register as Republican on election day?
correct. In the
Yes.
May election, that's
Yes.
what's nice with the unaffiliation.
The unaffiliated.
You can say on election day, I wanna be Republican and I want a Republican ballot. And the Democrat primary is open to everyone.
Yeah, that's all.
Correct.
Okay, keep
So
going.
on that
Sorry.
day, we did have, we had a larger number of registration cards. Part of that is because some of the poll workers were adamant if they changed party affiliations, they had to redo the card. So it's very hard to distinguish how many new versus how many people had to just fill them out because the poll workers just wanted them to because they changed affiliations.
But we go through every card.
But we go through every card, so we'll be able to know that, but we don't have it now because there's just so many to go through. We had 1,158 registration cards. How many are brand new, I don't know.
Wow.
Because we have to go through and see what they were before. Was it only, were they registered but they just made them fill one out for party affiliation only? We don't know. So we still have all those registration cards to go through also,
Which we're going through right now.
which we're doing right now. So, this election brought the challenge of not knowing what party people would choose. So we had to order so many more ballots, not knowing and knowing that we still need to provide a ballot for everyone that wanted to vote. Some counties did 100%, we did not choose to do that. We did order more than was necessary, but yet we had enough to cover this election without doing 100% of the voters of every party.
Right.
So that's how that went.
How many total registered voters again in the county? Was it 87,000?
No, it was 86, as an election day, it was 86,140. So that's the numbers that we ran right before the actual election day, and we'll be adding, you can add those registration cards, but some people move and they have to fill out a new registration
Right,
card. So
right.
don't assume that's just gonna increase it to that 82,000 plus number.
And so we have also included the abstracts to show you with each precinct and each party, how that was broken down.
And the state gave us this template to fill in.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we filled out the state template that they had wanted us to fill out.
So you can tell on the Republican and Constitution page, on the right-hand side, voter statistics from there, how it's broken down by the precinct.
Interesting. Number of day registrants, that's on
Yeah.
election
Yes.
day.
But
Correct.
again, that could be someone, I moved from precinct 8 to precinct
Right,
7,
right.
so
Correct.
it's just us counting the cards by the precinct.
Where's precinct 1?
Spirit Lake.
Oh, that's
Area?
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Just the numbers, the number jumped out at me. Wow.
Yeah, you can see, it's interesting how many registered voters, it varies by precinct, based on population
Yeah.
and the size of the precinct.
And look at 6 and 8, also very high.
Yeah.
8 is high because that is in the area, actually, I'm in that precinct, and just in 4 months, we had 20 houses go up behind us. So I'm in an area where the growth is unbelievable.
Okay.
So I'm in Post Falls, and that's that area.
It looks like
Around
the second
Chase.
largest precinct.
It's now almost one of the largest precincts
Right.
because the growth is so high. in that area, and they're building so much. So that is not surprising.
No, it's not.
No.
You're right.
So 8 is getting quite large. And that's why we separated 27 and 28 also. 28 is growing at a rapid rate, and to have the two, people weren't able, they would stand in line for over 2-3 hours to vote, and so
Wow.
we split that precinct
The American Legions, yeah.
from the American Legion Hall, which was not large enough to hold 4,000 voters. So we split them this time, I
Yeah.
split them, so it went much smoother because they were split.
And the growth is north and west.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's what it is. Coeur d'Alene can't grow.
no,
It can only go up. South, some, but marginal.
Mhm.
It's north and west.
it is. So you're gonna see those precincts, even 8, you're gonna see it get bigger.
Yep, yep.
And 28, that's another one, because they're gonna open the Rathburn Prairie for all those new homes. 487 homes, so you'll see growth there.
Okay. Questions, Leslie?
Nope, I'm good.
Bill?
No, I'm fine.
Good job. So you're still busy?
And as you know, we're preparing the May ballot as we speak. So yeah, every 4 years, it's a fun obstacle from March to May from the presidential.
And there's no talk of postponing the May election, I
At this
assume?
point, no.
Okay. I only raised that because apparently a couple of the states
Correct.
are,
done that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think-
Louisiana's done it. Ohio
Ohio?
tried to. Did the judge, I don't know if the judge.
I don't know what happened there, but I think the governor wanted to postpone, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
but
They
that's
will
what he
make
said.
decisions today on how we will handle the May election. So we will know more, because they will know by today.
I
how
think
we're
the
gonna-
legislators are going home in the next
Yes,
day or
and
so.
so they have to make a decision, how we're gonna deal with the May election.
As to whether we'll leave the in-person or go strictly by mail and or,
Yeah. And at this point,
Lots of options.
it's up in the air.
it's up in the
Right,
air.
correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
But I will say, just a note on the record, the Secretary of State is pushing for mail out. They're gonna be
Correct.
advertising, they're asking papers to advertise as many people to fill out the absentee application. They are launching a website, sort of like the online voter registration, that people can go to and then fill out that form. And it may be even go active live, I think Thursday afternoon
Okay.
to be, or it can just be submitted to our offices yet. So they are pushing heavily for people to do the
Correct.
absentee application.
No
This May
talk of
election.
online voting per se.
No, that would,
No.
no,
That won't
I
happen.
think that would require a law change, right?
no, yeah, that's not
That's
the
a
talk
whole
right
other
now.
Right.
Yeah.
But just encouraging people to vote by mail versus in person
Mhm.
for the May election. So that's what right now is the push, so.
Understood,
Mhm.
okay.
Good.
Bill, good?
Yep, very good.
Motion?
I move that we accept and approve the canvass of the March 10th, 2020 presidential primary election as presented.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. The canvassing is hereby approved by the Board of County Commissioners. Public comment? None. 11:17, meeting adjourned. Thank you, ladies.